Hi Elliot, good to see you. What can I show you today? I enjoy the personal shopper system. Who wouldn't really if they had the cash? And I particularly like Stuart's style. He doesn't let me leave with anything that isn't right, even if it costs him a few quid in commission. He laughed at me once when I emerged from the dressing room in a cream suit. That's when I decided that I liked him. As we walk through the sections, he yanks down jackets, shirts, trousers. Anything I dally over, he demands the size and slings it over his arm with the rest. We get to the dressing room and it's quite a pile, but first I need to go to the bathroom. I tell Stuart, but he's not listening. He's frowning into the distance and mouthing what to someone else. Just after I enter the cubicle, I hear the bathroom door open and close and someone take a few steps inside. I presume they're in front of the mirror, unaware of my presence. I prepare for a moment of fleeting awkwardness as I pull the door open. The man is stocky, his face stern as he braces himself in front of me. He's definitely police. Even Harvey Nichols' security would have better suits than that. This is genuinely my first thought as I see him, that his suit looks old and from a leaner time. The trousers strain across his thighs, and the shoulders are badly pinched. I move as if to pass him, but I do more to force the issue, the end. When it comes is with a swing of his arm and sharp pain as he snaps his hand around my wrist. His hand is large and hairy. His thumb is a couple of inches beyond the sleeve of my jacket. His pinky stretches across the face of my Rolex Oyster President. It cost £12,110, and I bought it on the credit card of an American businessman whom I never met. My name is Elliot Castro, and I'm 21 years old.
Hello and welcome to Crimewrites, just one of our brand new short, unique entertainment programmes here on Legal TV. I'm Raychel Harvey-Jones and today I'm joined in the studio by author Neil Forsyth. Neil is a freelance journalist who has written for The Scotsman, Scotland on Sunday, Maxim, FHM, to name but a few. But today we will be discussing the incredible story of Elliot Castro in Other People's Money. Neil, thank you so much for coming into the studio today. Everybody's quite jealous here at Legal TV because all week I've raved about this book. I literally could not put it down. It's not really, it's a little bit different to the other crime novels that we've looked at because it's not really a whodunit. It's pretty clear he did it. Yeah,
I think hands are up in that score, yeah.
Definitely. Tell me first of all how you got into writing.
Myself, I wrote on sport to start with, for largely Scottish football, then moved into men's magazines. Kind of second top shelf, you know, still some stories within them, and it was while writing for one of them that I encountered the story of Elliot. I wrote him, interviewed him for Maxim magazine as a kind of extended feature, and from there we kind of got the book deal eventually. So. Did
it take you a long time to kind of sort of track him down and persuade him to, you know, to talk to you?
Yeah, I mean it was a kind of a string of kind of things that could have gone wrong. I mean I didn't even know what prison Elliot was in to start with, and I just essentially guessed. Based on what court he'd been convicted in, and wrote to him there. He wrote back, and it took a long time to kind of think win his trust and win each other's trust really as well.
Absolutely. Now generally at this point in my Crimewrites interviews I'm talking about character development and how did you get the idea for the inspiration for that character, but tell our viewers a little bit, a synopsis if you like, about Elliot's life, which is just incredible.
Elliot was essentially from a kind of Scottish family, who you know, a working class Scottish family, but you know, he wasn't exactly in the poor house, but he had a great thirst for foreign travel. He was a real loner as a kid and a bit of a dreamer, and he used to read a lot from atlases and travel books and so on, and then he had this great wish for kind of what he saw as the high life. And he slipped into a life of crime, but that was the motivation. It was money. All he wanted was money to, I think, escape his own life, and you know, that's certainly what he ended up managing.
I think that's what we all want, isn't it?
To a degree, yeah. And I think there's a voyeuristic interest in having, you know, after a while, Elliot moved through petty crime to you know, relatively advanced and very, very clever credit card fraud, and he did have more money than he could, you know, than he could spend for a while. And I think that
because he was incredibly intelligent. I mean, as you read sort of through the book, I mean, he goes from one school to another, and for various reasons gets kicked out or leaves, or it's just in some cases just too clever for his teachers. He's very intelligent.
He's definitely a clever guy, and it was never really channeled in the right direction, which I think partly was his own fault, which he'd admit. He was very disruptive, and instead of perhaps the education system, looking for the reasons behind that. It was far easier to bounce him about through various schools.
How honest was he when you were sort of interviewing him with the book in mind? I mean, did you have to sort of drag information out of him, or was he quite happy to tell you sort of the ins and outs?
At first, there was definitely a bit of hesitation. I mean, as there would be. I mean, I was just another journalist writing to him. He had a few that were trying to get in touch with him at the time. And certainly the magazine article, he gave me what I think I needed for that. But then once the decision was made to do the book, we both made the decision that we were going to go for it and trust each other, and then it was a real kind of open exchange of information.
I really wanted to be his girlfriend for this book. I had ideas of grandeur, you know, flying first class and walking into Louis Vuitton with him. I mean, it must have just been, as you say, he wasn't in the poorhouse, but it was very different to the family life that he had. Yeah,
I mean, it's very different to, I think, most people's lives. But I mean, in terms of kind of being a companion or anything, it was a very solitary existence he had. I don't think you could, I mean, unless you had essentially a partner in crime, you know, you couldn't eat. I think that was the big thing for Elliot. You can't have normal relationships when you're living the life of an international fraudster.
No, absolutely. I think one of my favourite quotes that I took from the book was that he said to himself, you know, I don't know why I did it. I had no inward debate when I nicked my first card.
Yeah, exactly.
I just thought that's brilliant.
Yeah, that was it. And you know, it'd been very, very easy for us to kind of dwell on the moral thing. Oh, God, you know, it was horrible. I can't believe I did it. Even at the time, I was tortured. But he wasn't. So
yeah,
we were open about it. He wanted to steal, and that's why he wanted to steal, you know, and let people make their own decisions.
I have to say, I mean, reading quite a few crime novels for Crimewrites, he's a baddie that I absolutely loved. I really did, absolutely loved him. I would ask you, if you don't mind, to sign your book. We've been talking about other people's money. If you've just joined us here on LegalTV or watching Crimewrites, I've been talking to Neil Forsyth. Other People's Money. It is an absolutely fantastic and fascinating read. It's all about Elliot Castro. You may already have some knowledge, but do pick up this book because it's absolutely brilliant. If you could place that onto our rather, it's getting very crowded, actually, our bookshelf. So, very quickly, what are you working on at the moment?
I've got a humour book out in October called Delete This at Your Peril, and then I'm working on a fiction book just now that will hopefully be out next year.
Very exciting. Will you promise to come back to us and talk about your future project?
Definitely. Sounds good.
Well, thank you very much once again. We're going to try and persuade Elliot to maybe come in and to give us an interview, because after all, he was the inspiration.
No, I think there's a good chance Elliot will be popping up here. So.
Fantastic. I've got thousands of witnesses, you realise that. Neil, thanks once again.
Thank you.
Well, that's closing another book here at Crimewrites, but please do keep watching us here at LegalTV. Until next time, bye-bye for now.